It's Off the Beaten Path Podcast with me, Ben Merritt. And you won't be hearing any of that here.
Strings all the while, knowing you weren't leaving anytime soon. The last goodbye really had me running hot. You turned me into something I was not. You were determined to make me your fool. This time around, I won't come running. No matter how hard you try. This time around, I won't come crawling back to you. This is the last goodbye. Tougher than the one before. Hard to believe you could hurt me anymore, but you did it. Here we go again. The last goodbye was nothing but a toy. You were crying wolf like the lonesome little boy in the story. But here's how it ends. This time around, I won't come running. No matter how hard you try. This time around, I won't come crawling back to you. This is the last. This is the last goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Off the Beaten Path Podcast with me, Ben Merritt, Reckless Kelly there. They are legends in their own time. Literally some of the best country music out of Texas is coming from Reckless Kelly. That's the new one called The Last Goodbye, and that is their latest single, and it came off the Long Night Moon album. So it's a very good time to be a Reckless Kelly fan, because not only is the discography growing and growing and growing and becoming bigger, but if you're in Texas, Missouri, Arkansas, Tennessee, Kentucky, Georgia, North Carolina, Alabama, Idaho, and, well, actually California as well, they've got a very heavy October and November tour schedule. So, yeah, you got a good chance at catching them in the very, very near future. Ben Merritt hanging out with you here on Off the Beaten Path podcast. Again, thanks for joining me. This episode is kind of a cool one because, well, this is a guy that's literally a newbie to me as well. Mark Jones and 20 Paces. I was approached by a promotions person, and they were like, hey, I got this new band you should check out. And I was like, all right. And then they told me the name, and I was like, sounds kind of hokey. And then I listened to him, and I was like, sounds kind of awesome. And I got him on the show. So, again, Mark Jones and 20 Paces, my special guest this evening, afternoon, or morning, whenever you listen to the podcast. So, these are a couple guys I'd like to get on before I'm done doing this, which, by the way, is an unforeseeable problem. I don't see an end coming to the Off the Beaten Path podcast anytime soon. So Drew McAllister and Troy Kemp, a couple of Aussies. That might be the only problem with trying to get them on. McAllister Kemp is the name of the duo, and this is their latest single. It's Harder to Tame off the new album that just came out earlier this year. So here it is. It's Off the Beaten Path podcast with me, Ben Merritt.
Get me up Sunday morning, she ain't got a prayer. I never feel like going, somehow she gets me there. My boots are kinda dusty, my shirt's all untucked, and that's about as much as she can ever clean me up. Lucky for me, she kinda likes it a little rough around the edge. She don't mind I got a little crazy laugh. She wouldn't have me any other way. She likes her horses a little harder to tame. She always sees it coming. That look gets in my eye. That restless spirit running. That fire that never dies. She loves the challenge, yeah. She sure got one now. Instead of pulling back, she lets her reins out. And lucky for me, she kinda likes it a little rough around the edge. She don't mind if I got a little crazy laugh. She wouldn't have me any other way. She likes her horses a little harder to tame. She loves wild, she needs free. Says a little bit of bad ain't such a bad thing. She kinda likes it a little rough around the edge. She don't mind if I got a little crazy laugh. She wouldn't have me
Off the Beaten Path Podcast.
He's my husband. He just don't know it yet.
With me, Ben Merritt. Like us on Facebook.com/OTBP Podcast.
You can pack all your things and say that we're through. Say whatever you need to make it easy on you. Just don't say we can still be friends. I've already got plenty of them. I'm gonna love you if I want to. I'm gonna need you if I need to, baby. No, you can't tell me what to do. I'm gonna want you. I'm gonna want you if I want to. You tell me I should get strong, move on and find somebody new. But baby, I'm no good at doing things that I don't wanna do. You want me to forget that I was all yours. Well, you're not the boss of me anymore. I'm gonna love you if I want to. I'm gonna need you if I need to, baby. No, you can't tell me what to do. I'm gonna want you. I'm gonna want you if I want to. I'm in charge of this broken heart, baby. Even when I'm falling apart, I'm gonna love you. I'm gonna love you if I want to. I'm gonna need you if I need to, baby. No, you can't tell me what to do now. I'm gonna want you. I'm gonna want you. I'm gonna love you if I want to. I'm gonna need you if I need to, baby. No, you can't tell me what to do. I'm gonna want you. I'm gonna want you if I want to. 'Cause I want to. Yeah.
Off the Beaten Path Podcast with me, Ben Merritt. There's Jasmine Ray. And the latest tune from her, If I Want To. That's actually coming off the success of a collaboration she had with Miss Kelly Pickler, where Bad Guys, Bad Boys Get Me All the Time? Bad Boys Get Me Good. That's what it is. So Jasmine Ray collaborated with Kelly Pickler for that one and had a big hit on her hand. And then released this new one, which I think is going to be really big as well. So there you go. If I Want To is the name of that single. Ben Merritt hanging out with you here on Off the Beaten Path Podcast this week. We'll talk to Mark Jones of Mark Jones in 20 Paces. And apparently I'm suffering from two speeds for this episode of the podcast. I'm either in Aussie speed, where I've got a great Australian act for you, because, by the way, Jasmine Ray, she's Australian, also McAllister Kemp. Anyway, or I'm in Texan. I'm either Aussie or I'm Texan, because Mark Jones, he's Texan. We heard from Reckless Kelly earlier on. They're from Texas, and these guys are from Texas as well. Jason Boland and the Stragglers, their latest single off the Dark and Dirty Mile is Lucky, I Guess. So there you go. Now we're shifting into Texas again. That was really corny. It's Off the Beaten Path Podcast with me, Ben Merritt.
Never found a four-leaf clover and tend to spill the salt. Anytime a mirror breaks, you can bet it was my fault. Black cats always try and cross the path in front of me. I guess it's how not always what you see. No horseshoe o'er my doorway, I'll throw a hat right on the bed. It's funny how we believe the crazy things we're fed. I walked under a ladder more than a time or two. Somehow I still wound up here with you. Just lucky, I guess. Things tend to work out. You're the best thing that I found. I don't have any doubt. When life looks down, I know with you I'm blessed. And it'll all turn back around. I'm just lucky, I guess. Friday the 13th was the day my parents wed. Never crossed my fingers when a hopeful phrase is said. Not much of a gambler, so prone to having vice. When you take my hand, they best hand me the dice. Just lucky, I guess. But things tend to work out. You're the best thing that I found. I don't have any doubt. When life looks down, I know with you I'm blessed. And it'll all turn back around. I'm just lucky, I guess. Dark clouds and hearses don't ever seem to interrupt my flow. I'm still the best off person that I know. Just lucky, I guess. Things tend to work out. You're the best thing that I found. I don't have any doubt. When life looks down, I know with you I'm blessed. And it'll all turn back around. I'm just lucky, I guess. Yeah, when life looks down, oh, I sit back and rest. It'll all turn back around. I'm just lucky, I guess.
It's Off the Beaten Path Podcast with me, Ben Merritt. Off the Beaten Path Podcast, me, Ben Merritt, again, joined by some of the greatest country music that you've never heard of. But that's why we're here. We're here to try and change that. And I want to introduce you to Mark Jones on the phone with me. Mark, how are you?
Doing well today, Ben. How are you?
No, I'm doing really well. And Mark is a member of Mark Jones and 20 Paces. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, that is.
I like your Twitter handle, by the way.
Yeah, we're trying to simplify it a little bit. The XX Paces is the Roman numerals, for 20. It gets a little confusing sometimes. I think people are starting to catch on.
Well, I think they'll figure it out, yeah. So, but before we go any further, we'll get to the Pimp Yourself portion of the show and where you can talk about all your social medias and stuff like that. Before we go any further, though, Mark, I have to ask you the 2 icebreaker questions I ask everyone. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, icebreaker question number 1. Where are you right now? And feel free to be as specific or non-specific as you would like, because I don't think anybody's going to come chase you down.
I was just sitting in my office at the house right now. Nothing too exciting.
Found a nice quiet place that you can sit down
Yeah.
for the next half hour and chat with me. All right, there you go.
Yeah.
Now, question number 2, and this is the one where we really determine how comfortable you are and ready to do this interview. Question number 2, what are you wearing right now?
I'm wearing a pair of athletic shorts, tennis shoes, and I'm not wearing a shirt. So
Ooh.
as I get.
The athletic shorts is something that I get quite often, but you are actually only the second artist ever, and I'm up into like 70 episodes now. Second artist ever that's ever told me that they've been shirtless during the interview. So
It's just something, when I get in the door, it just seems like clothes just start coming off, and I just get comfortable. It's just how I operate.
well, I guess down there in the heat of Texas, you got to get comfortable somehow, right?
Oh, yeah, it is pretty hot right now.
No, I bet. So, well, speaking of which, you are from Texas, and you and the boys, actually, you didn't necessarily want to do music to begin with. You actually were only doing songwriting and things like that for school credit. Is that right?
Yeah, so that's kind of the backstory and all that is music was always kind of a part of my life, but it was never really something I had the desire to pursue. And so it was one of those deals. I had to take a fine art for school, and I didn't want to take underwater basket weaving. So I said, hey, this songwriting class sounds pretty neat. And at that time, I kind of started playing guitar, and so it was just a natural progression for me to say, oh, well, let's see if we can figure this out. So,
well, that underwater basket weaving, I mean, that's a skill that you'll have for life. I mean, you use that every day.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, just saying. If
you can always fall back on, I guess. Things don't work out.
All right. So basically, like you said, you were at Texas Tech. You're actually going into agricultural economics. Is that right?
Yes, sir. That is. I always had the dream of becoming a rancher one day, and might still happen one of these days. But
yeah.
As of right now, music is taking a forefront to that.
Well, I mean, I'm glad that you had to take that class because you, sir, are putting out some fine music. But it as you said, music's always been kind of your life, or not your life, but part of your life. And that was because, well, your dad was the music director at the church, or was that your mom?
That was my mother, yes.
Okay.
So she was a church organist, music director. So it was something that we were constantly surrounded with. And it was fun. I remember one birthday, my brother got a drum set, and I got my first guitar. And she's like, we're starting a praise band at church, and y'all are my first 2 volunteers. I was like, but I mean, music was always in the house, and it's just part of who I am. And and regardless if I wasn't pursuing this, it'd still be a passion for me.
Well, good, yeah. And honestly, I think I think music that has grown from a family love for it is, it's got a little bit deeper there to it, because that's where the memories and things like that come from. People who pick it up later on in life can still be spectacular, and there are lots of great artists out there that are great when they just pick up a guitar in college or after that, and then you just find that they have a talent for it. But I think, since you've been doing it, I mean, you were taking piano lessons at the age of 6. So
yeah, something
like that where there's the family history and, you've got obviously a lot of great memories from playing music with your mom and your brother and all that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And it makes a transition when you tell them, hey, I'm going to chase this crazy dream. They understand that a lot more than the average person. So that's a good thing.
Not as shocking, yeah.
Exactly.
Hey, by the way, I'm going to give up my career as a doctor, and I think I might try songwriting for a while. Does that sound all right?
Yeah, well, it's, speaking for me personally, I was working for an oil company here in Houston. and making good money, but I was just working for the man, and I wasn't happy.
Right.
There was just a big void, and like, well, I got my youth and my health and everything else. There's no reason for me not to try this.
Absolutely. Why not?
Yeah, for my well-being, it was one of the best decisions I ever made, and everyone's like, man, you're so happy now because of that. I'm like, well, I just kind of figured it out. Life's too short not to try.
Well, there you go. And you found a great bunch of guys to play music with, too. I was listening to the album a couple times through this morning, and I must say, the whole group, you and the 20 Paces sound spectacular together. You guys work really well together.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much.
So how did you guys get together? How did you meet? Did you all meet at Texas Tech and, start playing there?
No, we actually we met down here. We're all kind of scattered around Houston or the greater Houston area. But it was funny because I kind of started just doing some acoustic, open mic songwriter night type stuff. And anyways, ended up playing at a benefit concert. And a guy came up and approached me. And he was like, hey, man, you're really good. You want to start a band? And I was, at that point, I was kind of like, I'm kind of new to all this. I was like, oh, yeah, well, I'll think about it. He was like, well, here, let me get your number, and, we'll be in touch. And so I didn't think anything of it. And then, sure enough, a couple weeks later, 3 guys showed up to my house, like, we're going to start a band, and here we are. So
we're going to start a band, and we decided that practice is going to be at your place. Let's start.
Yeah, exactly. It's like we're, it's one of those things. It was really good because it kind of got me out of my shell and opened my eyes to a lot of things. And like I said, we've been making music now for about 4 years and loving every minute of it.
Excellent, and you're doing really well. So Mark Jones of Mark Jones and the 20 Paces, and Mark, again, the new album is spectacular. It came out in late May, and actually, I think, wasn't that kind of ahead of schedule, too? I think, didn't you drop that before you planned on dropping it?
Yeah, it was supposed to actually come out about right now, but, it was one of those things where, we were ready to just get it out there. And, why wait? We're really proud of the final product, and we had a great team behind us working with us on the album itself, and we just didn't see any reason not to go ahead and just push it and get it out.
Now, the name of the album is Breaking Even, and if you get the opportunity to listen to it, and later on, Mark, we'll be able to get your website out there so that people can take and listen to it and possibly buy themselves a copy of it. But if you listen to the whole album through, the flow, the breakdown, basically, I hate to say it, but everything about the album is just so clean, it's so simple, and it just flows so well that you just kind of go, wow, this music had to be made.
Yeah. We had, I was kind of talking to you, before we got this conversation started, but Jeffrey Armstrong there at Magnolia Red, that's where we recorded the album, and he produced it for us, and he was the first guy. We shopped around for quite a while before we found a home there to make this record, and he's the first guy that really let us kind of take the steering wheel and make the music that we wanted to make. And I feel like there's so much out there that's overproduced, and people try and push you in a direction that you don't want to go because, of money or radio play or whatever it is. And, we went in there with the mindset, like we want to make the record that we want to make. We hope people like it, but at this point in our lives, we want to make something that we're happy with. And he really gave us the opportunity to do that. And like I said, we are so happy with the way everything came about.
Well, the old line is you've got your entire career to make your first album, and you might as well be really happy with it because otherwise you're just not going to enjoy it, and more than likely the fans won't respect it and like it either.
Absolutely.
So there you go. Again, the name of the album is Breaking Even. The first tune we're going to listen to off of it is called This Time. Tell us about it, sir.
So this time it's kind of that it's that breakup song, and there's a lot of songs about like love and loss of love on the album, but this is one of my favorites on there, and it's everybody's got those friends, or it might be you that a relationship's over, but for whatever reason you keep coming back full circle and trying to find that flame again. It just never quite works out, and so this is a story of pretty much a guy just throwing his hands up in the air and say, you know what, at this point, I've got to just cut ties and I've got to walk away from this because, this time you're not going to get back in my head and get back in my life because it's just a toxic relationship.
Yeah. I feel like that needed a yeah at the end of that. Sorry. All right. Well, Mark Jones, stick around, sir. We're going to continue talking here in a little bit, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. Here it is, though. This is Mark Jones and 20 Paces. The name of the tune off the Breaking Even album is This Time, and it's right here on Off the Beaten Path podcast with me, Ben Merritt.
You might know my name, or even where I'm from, or which way I'm headed, or the reasons that I run. But you're a bad habit, one that I can't break. I'm helplessly addicted to your game, give and take. And this time's too far gone. What the hell am I supposed to do? Driving around in circles trying to find my way to you. And this time's way too late. We both said goodbye when I didn't have the answers to your questions. All the reasons why. Sometimes I catch you staring like you want something more than to just be noticed for the way things were before. Your touch, it always lingers on the back of my hand. You play by all the rules but still don't seem to understand. This time's too far gone. What the hell am I supposed to do? Drive around in circles trying to find my way to you. This time's way too late. We both said goodbye, and I didn't have the answers to your question. All the reasons why. Just when it feels right, the situation's wrong. Like there's a missing piece, one that doesn't quite belong. And this time's too far gone. What the hell am I supposed to do? Drive around in circles trying to find my way to you. This time's way too late. We both said goodbye, and I didn't have the answers to your question. All the reasons why.
Off the Beaten Path podcast, me, Ben Merritt, and I got Mark Jones of Mark Jones and 20 Paces on the line. Mark, how are you, sir?
Doing good, doing good.
Staying cool there in Texas, right?
Yeah, it's pretty warm at the moment. Looking forward to fall, a little weather change for us.
Oh yeah. It's here in northern Wisconsin. It's pretty comfortable pretty much all year round until we get to winter. So fall for us, we really take advantage. There's lots of bonfires and pickup football games and things like that because we hit and this may sound like an imaginary number to you because you're from Texas, but our overnight temperatures late at night during the winter this past winter were negative 50.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was a bad year for us. So
That is cold.
that
is cold.
Yeah, I don't know if you can imagine that number even. So, all right. Well, Mark, we'll try and get you up here in February, though. Maybe we can get you to do a show up here or something like that.
Love to.
Well, actually, that might play in pretty well because if people do finally get to your Facebook page, and we'll tell them what that is in a little bit, they'll see a picture of you and the guys, and, well, you're a self-proclaimed mountain man, and you've got the facial hair to prove it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're a bunch of bearded beauties, except our little drummer there, Rick. He's facial hair deficient. He tries. We don't give him too much slack, but everybody else in the band has a pretty strong beard.
He's like a 13-year-old prepubescent boy. It just comes in patches, or
yeah, he's 32, but he looks like he's about 13.
We love you though, Rick. So.
Oh yeah, I love Rick.
Now, who's the one with the really big, deep black beard though?
That's the bass player. That's Brandon.
Okay,
he's got the really thick black beard, and then Wayne's got the real long, straggly kind of biker beard, if you will.
Yeah, it looks like he should be on like Sons of Anarchy or something like that.
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh, I think the bass player, if he got it any longer, it might intertwine with some of the chords though, or strings on the guitar. So
yeah,
that may not be a good idea to keep growing that one out. So anyway, but yeah, so who knows? Maybe Northern Wisconsin would be the place for you guys up here with the rest of us.
Definitely give it a shot. Definitely give it a shot.
All right. Mark Jones from Mark Jones and 20 Paces. Sir, this is the time to make all the PR people happy and to introduce the rest of the world to Mark Jones and 20 Paces. This is the Pimp Yourself portion of the show. You tell everybody how they can become super fans or just become even better fans and follow along with the career.
Yeah, no problem. You can find us on our website, markjonesxxpaces.com, Twitter at xxpaces. We're also on Facebook, Instagram, xxpaces, all that stuff. So, or you can just type Mark Jones 20 Paces into any search engine, and it'll take you to the right place.
And as he said earlier on in the interview, the XX Paces is the Roman numeral for 20 Paces. So
yeah, we got a little tired of writing it out every time, so we started abbreviating it. So it's it's one of those things that kind of looks cool on stickers and stuff too. It just changes it up.
Anytime you can put an X on it, it makes you look hardcore.
Something like that.
Yeah. Mark Jones on Off the Beaten Path podcast. Again, like I said earlier on, the whole album, Breaking Even, it came out earlier on in May, and it sounds so good. And the lead track on the album is the lead single that you guys have released out to radio. And now you guys are releasing it mostly to Texas radio stations at the moment, correct?
Yeah, we're mainly Texas and the outliers, some of the regional stations down here.
Now, are you getting lots of good response from the Texas stations? Because if you can make it in Texas in country music, I think you got a shot at making it anywhere in the country in country music.
We've got overwhelmingly positive response for it. I mean, this being our first, studio album and our first single, it did everything that we wanted to do, and it's still making noise. And we were really, really happy with the success we found with that song. So, we wanted to come out of the gates, swinging with a, kind of summertime, and it's one of the more upbeat tracks on the album, and it did really well for us.
It's got a positive message behind it too, kind of never let go of the internal child, I would say.
Yeah, to me, it just speaks to the innocence of youth, and everything in there that I talk about are things that I did growing up. So it's one of those things where, you're kind of caught at that crossroads and you want to grow up, but you don't want to let your childhood go. And it's just that song that you can play every time and just jump right back in that moment in time. And it's, oh man, I remember when I used to do that and I didn't have a care in the world. And, then you can go back to paying bills, being an adult,
Yeah, the unfortunate things of growing up, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, Mark Jones and 20 Paces, this is their big debut single. It's called Fast and Free. Sir, it's been a pleasure chatting with you. I appreciate you taking some time out and talking to us here on Off the Beaten Path.
Well, absolutely. Thank you for your time, Ben. I enjoyed it.
Absolutely. Mark Jones of Mark Jones and the 20 Paces. Here it is. It's Fast and Free. It's Off the Beaten Path podcast with me, Ben Merritt.
Building forts on Willow Creek, 10 years old, playing hide and seek, finding ways to pass the time. The hammer nails, some 2x4s, couldn't wait till we done our chores, and out the door we would fly. Just some kids being kids, doing what mom and daddy did not 20 years before, and only living for the day, the only way we knew, wild-eyed, fast and free. Ride your bike to the corner store, you check the flyer on the front door, that old dog was lost again. Through the fence, around the back, put your pennies on the tracks and watch the trains roll on. Just some kids being kids, doing what mom and daddy did not 20 years before, and only living for the day, the only way we knew, wild-eyed, fast and free. And then came gasoline and girls, 4 wheels to take you around the world till you dug those pockets clean. Swing by to pick her up at 8, home by 10, but don't be late, her old man would always say. Just some kids being kids, doing what mom and daddy did not 20 years before, and only living for the day, the only way we knew, wild-eyed, fast and free. Just some kids being kids, doing what mom and daddy did not 20 years before, and only living for the day, the only way we knew, wild-eyed, fast and free. And only living for the day, the only way we knew, wild-eyed, fast and free.
Off the Beaten Path Podcast
Fresh new country.
at OTBP Podcast.
There's something about this time of day. The sun goes home and the shadows fade, and all my thoughts come out to play. Count them one by one, and I come undone. When the lights turn on in the streets tonight and the moon hangs low in the empty sky, I'll be thinking of you, wondering why I'm a million miles away, just out here spinning around, waiting to touch back down like a satellite.
podcast with me, Ben Merritt. There you go. That is the latest single off of a yet-to-be-named album from Randy Rogers Band. That is Satellites. They had a pretty good one out not too long ago. It was called Fuzzy, Between Fuzzy and Satellite, Speak of the Devil, all off the Trouble album. Randy Rogers Band, again, very cool stuff. The video for that one is very tasteful, very elegant. It's very great, just in general. So, in the Texas Speed for a little while here as we got the Randy Rogers Band. Again, thanks to Mark Jones of Mark Jones and 20 Paces. Now, it's Cody Johnson received some, he received some career advice from a former boss of his.
My wardens that I was working for actually encouraged me to quit. I said, you can always come back. There's never going to be a shortage of people going to prison. There's never going to be a shortage of the need for people to guard them. So go chase your dream.
That's right. The man was a prison guard, and, well, thankfully he received some good advice. So here is Cody Johnson now, and the latest tune from Cody is Dance Her Home. It's Off the Beaten Path podcast with me, Ben Merritt.
Here she comes a-walking in, cotton dress a-swishing. The smoke is thick and the lights are dim, and she sure got me wishing for a little bit of time out on that old dance floor. If she gives me half a chance at romance, I'm gonna dance her home. Well, hey, bartender, see that girl? Ask her what she's drinking. Tell her if she looks this way, I'll be the one winking. 'Cause I saw her light up when the DJ played a little George Jones. If she gives me half a chance at romance, I'm gonna dance her home. 'Cause if we got to two-step and we could come up missing and find a corner booth alone, just a hugging and a kissing like two lovers reminiscing. Man, this feeling's coming on strong. If she gives me half a chance at romance, I'm gonna dance her home. Get the dancing, boy. What the hell is wrong with me? I feel like I'm sinking. How hard can it really be to tell her what I'm thinking? That if we got to two-step and we could come up missing and find a corner booth of our own, just a hugging and a kissing like two lovers reminiscing. Man, this feeling's coming on strong. If she gives me half a chance at romance, I'm gonna dance her home. If she gives me half a chance at romance, no, I won't be leaving here alone. 'Cause if she gives me half a chance at romance, I'm gonna dance her home. I'm gonna dance her home.
It's Off the Beaten Path podcast with me, Ben Merritt. Like us on Facebook.com/OTBP podcast.
Could have upped and walked away. Could have stood you up on our first date. Could have let you wait for me all day. Could have said no to that first drink. Could have just went home and watched TV. Instead of stayed and told you everything. And I know I could have turned the car around. I wonder, where would we be now? No, I didn't have to fight. left you when it got too hard. Sell all your stuff, take your guitar, not care, just let us fall apart. I could've just not picked up the phone when you said you miss me, come on home. Pretend I'm better off alone. Oh, I know I didn't have to turn around. I wonder, where would we be now? No, I didn't have to fall for you. I know I didn't have to, but I did. Now I'm in and I'm going under. No, I didn't have to say I love you. I know I didn't have to, but I did. Now I'm in and I'm going under. Going under. Going under. No, I didn't have to, but I did. Now I'm in and I'm going under. Under my skin, got into my hair, got under my covers. Came into my life, got into my heart like no other. Got under my skin, got into my hair, got under my covers. Came into my life, got into my heart like no other. Yeah. No, I didn't have to fall for you. I know I didn't have to, but I did. Now I'm in and I'm going under. No, I didn't have to say I love you. I know I didn't have to, but I did. Now I'm in and I'm going under. Got under my skin, got into my hair, got under my covers. Came into my life, got into my heart like no other. Got under my skin, got into my hair, got under my covers. Came into my life, got into my heart like no other.
Off the Beaten Path podcast, meet Ben Merritt, and as I said earlier, I'm in either Australian or I'm in Texan speed, and that was another one of the upshifts into Australian. That was the McClymonts, and Going Under, didn't have to. Again, the McClymonts, great singer-songwriters out of Australia. I believe they're actually sisters as well. So, very good stuff. I'm always a fan. I don't know why they're not gigantic here in the States yet. They've released some stuff in the States, just not gigantic enough yet, I guess. Working on it, though. The McClymonts here on Off the Beaten Path podcast. And as I said, Texas or Australian, we're shifting from Aussie to Texan. Here it is. It's Casey Donahue Band now with their tune, Lovin' Out of Control. It's Off the Beaten Path podcast with me, Ben Merritt.
Mustang flying down a freeway. I was the open road. I learned fast when you're flying down a 4-lane. There ain't no way to go slow. I held on tight and she let go. Every night in my arms, loving out of control. Don't blame no stop sign romance. You're gonna miss it and you don't even know. I'd give anything for one more last chance. For loving out of control. Loving out of control. Had more holes in her heart than my blue jeans. I tried to patch them all up. Backseat, sunset, and some daydreams. Sometimes just ain't enough. I held on tight and she let go. Every night in my arms, loving out of control. Don't blame no stop sign romance. You're gonna miss it and you don't even know. I'd give anything for one Don't play no stop sign romance. You're gonna miss it and you don't even know. I'd give anything for one more last chance. But loving out of control. Loving out of control. She was a Mustang flying down a freeway. I was the open road.
Off the Beaten Path podcast, me, Ben Merritt. There's Casey Donahue Band off the Standoff album with Lovin' Outta Control. And that is it. Again, when I got to talk to Casey Donahue a few months back for the podcast, he's a great guy. As a matter of fact, been in the business for so long. He owns his own record label, does it all independently. He's the epitome of successful, independent country music coming out of Texas. I mean, the man doesn't need a major record label. He's been doing it for a long time. He's been doing it for probably 10, 11, 12 years, something like that, and he's been very successful. He's released a bunch of albums, so can't ask for anything more, and I don't think he ever really does. He's a very humble guy. So there you go, Casey Donahue Band and Lovin' Outta Control, and that's gonna do it for this week. Again, thank you very much for hanging out. Again, thank you to Mark Jones of Mark Jones and 20 Paces. Check out everything that has to do with those guys. They are great. Again, you're going to love them. So that's going to do it for this week, though. Join me next week. We got another one of those big names that's up and coming. His name is Joel Kraus. Yeah, that Joel Kraus. It's going to be great. So stick around for that one next week. Thanks for hanging out. Again, get in touch with us. Off the Beaten Path Podcast can be found on Twitter at OTBP Podcast, on Facebook, facebook.com/OTBP Podcast. Instagram, you can find us there as well. Search for OTBP Podcast. And if you've got a request or maybe a band that you want to introduce me to, which, by the way, I'm putting a call out right now. I don't have a lot of West Coast country music bands. I know there's a ton of them out there in Texas, but there's a lot in California as well. Again, OTBPpodcast@gmail.com. If you're out on the West Coast, tell me some of your favorite bands out there. But that's going to do it for this episode. Joel Kraus next week. Thanks for joining me. Have yourself a good one, and we'll talk next week on Off the Beaten Path Podcast with me, Ben Merritt.